Hi guys, number one Marmaduke fan here. I just read all three issues of the three-issue limited series Feast or Famine in one sitting, and artistically it's quite lovely. And I think this is a strong recommend based only on the art. The pacing of the story is also quite solid. I think I'll flip through them briefly and talk about that. The only thing that kind of annoys me about it is there's a little bit of hashtag the science to this, by which I mean kind of like it's presenting science as like this super duper cool meta thing that you should be interested in, but it'll also maybe like raise a few questions like what are the moral implications of scientific discovery? How should we use our scientific discovery? But in the end, it just kind of like the ending's weird. So I think I did enjoy the story for like its action adventure elements. I kind of appreciated the balance that they tried to bring to the perspective. I just felt like, I don't know, what would be the cure for the problem I had? Maybe like more appreciation of capitalism. Showing appreciation to capitalism will always make me happier with your comic. So it opens with Nicholas Tesca and Albion Stein, like they're Tesla and Albert Einstein. They're It's kind of like showing you the story of how they got together and invented great machines. So at first I was thinking, well, why are you calling them this? Why don't you just call them Tesla and Albert Einstein? And there actually was a reason that was explained later on that makes sense. So this alternate it starts off with the alternate version of Tesla. And having it out with the alternate version of Thomas Edison, who's called Samuel Edison. Now, the thing about this is, like, the Oatmeal made a comic making fun of Edison and saying that Tesla should be remembered in textbooks and not Edison. And I feel like the Oatmeal makes a comic, and then everyone just reads and retweets the Oatmeal comic, and then that becomes the perspective on whether something is scientific or not. I've never liked the Oatmeal comic that much, but the thing about Edison is he was a capitalist, he was a businessman. You know, he probably did screw over Nikola Tesla, but without his business sense, there's something to be said about having the business sense to take a discovery and figure out how to actually find practical applications for that. And he did, do the 99% perspiration thing and test out a whole bunch of filaments until he found a functional filament. People knew how to make things that lit up without gas, but Edison tried 1,000 different variations until he found an efficient one. He improved the technology. The moral of this story is pretty much that Edison is a greedy businessman and Tesla is a rugged individualist scientist. Bad capitalism, good science. And I don't like that hypersimplification. I think a better message is capitalism is the scientific method. They're the same thing. The guy who figures out how to invent a slightly better nut and bolt on a machine that makes the machine run slightly more efficiently or break less, that guy has made a contribution to the human race because we can actually use that. There's a type of science where, if we find out that a planet blew up in some other galaxy, well, that's really interesting. I'm glad we know that. But how does knowing the planet blew up in some other galaxy, how does that help people? How does that just help normal people? And I think the problem of this is kind of a Neil deGrasse Tyson thing, where Neil deGrasse Tyson goes on Twitter and he complains about whether Star Wars is scientifically accurate. And he's missing the point that what makes Star Wars fun is that it's fun. I don't care if Star Wars is scientifically accurate. It's fun. There's like a disconnect between the intellectual elites and just the average Joes who want to live their lives. And you have to bridge that gap. The way I think the good job I think this did is that then Tesla and Einstein find a capitalist who's willing to back them, and they then kind of begin making this investment allows them to make a bunch of progress. By the way, there's a typo. Edison says, my system includes rubber, insulated copper, conductive wires that are designed to safely contain the dangerous electric current. Designed. Hey, if you want to hire me as an editor, hit me up on Twitter. My DMs are open. I can help you catch those typos. And then, J.B. Morgan instead of J.P. Morgan. He's a greedy capitalist. He smokes cigars and he's fat. So issue 1 ends with them kind of successfully fixing their mistake and figuring out teleportation. And this page I thought was a little awkward because Einstein's literally just got his leg up there the entire time. Man, he's going to have like one muscular left leg when all is said and done. But really, the pacing is pretty cool. So they do the whole setup, and they're going to go off into space in the next issue. The second issue is like their cool space adventure. There's some cool twisteroos where the aliens are not what they thought they were. There's a guy named it's not Buck Rogers. It's or Flash Gordon. It's like Buck Jordan. Okay, you combine Buck Rogers and Flash Jordan. But I really like, let's see if I got it marked. I really like the musculature and the style of drawing of everything. It's really stylish. It's a solid, clean cartoon style with like big heroic people and amazing worlds and scenery. So, and the color is just bright, simple, easy to understand color with just a little subtlety in some of the shading. Lovely. The art is the reason why you should pick up this book. Issue 3 is a little odd because it kind of wraps up the alien plot, and I'm thinking, okay, well, this is like getting towards the end, right? And they introduce like a whole second plot after the aliens where they're like trying to figure out, okay, well, now what do we do? What was with the alien world? What are we going to do to like protect the Earth? So they go talk to John C. Gansfield, who I guess is a gag on some real scientist I don't know about. And they start like trying to study their dreams to see if they can find any information about the aliens. It just kind of ends on like a weird anticlimax. Like to me, the climax was successfully escaping the aliens and protecting Earth from the aliens, right? And then they have this whole thing where it's like there's an alternate Earth where the aliens are like the Nazis, and maybe like our Earth and their Earth are somehow connected, and the real Tesla shows up. So that's the part where it makes it clear, okay, that's why they made fake name versions of these characters. The whole time I was just wishing, I wish they'd call him Tesla, and I wish they'd call him Einstein, because that's just how I think of them. So the fact that they're an alternate universe version kind of helps me mentally separate the characters. I'm gonna spoil the ending for you because the ending is what I don't like. So they go to South America. They tell those bad old capitalist businessmen that you've got to shut up and listen to us because we're the smart scientists. They go to South Africa and they go on a psychedelic trip. And while they're having a psychedelic trip in South Africa, the bad old capitalists break into their laboratory to put together the machines they took apart. You bad, naughty businessmen. Why can't you just have trips for science like we great scientists do? So I think it needed some more subtlety. I wish there was like one businessman character who is a good guy and investing in them. I think that messages about #TheScience make sense when you connect it to capitalism, which is why Scrooge McDuck is the greatest character ever. He was what I liked about this was that as soon as Tesla and Einstein figured out they could go to an alien world, they immediately wanted to go to that alien world themselves, which is a little selfish. You should probably get like a big, tough mountain climber to go to the alien world while you smart guys make sure the big, tough mountain climber can get back and aliens don't get through. But this is connecting to the idea that science is about exploring the unknown. It's about finding the answers to questions we don't know. But by kind of dunking on capitalism, they miss the point that the whole reason we're doing it in the first place is to figure out how we can help and protect ourselves. We don't want to study cancer just because cancer is super interesting and it makes a great Facebook post on I bleeping love the science. I love that beautiful picture of cancer cell. I'm going to give it a heart. Actually, no, the reason we study cancer is so that we can cure cancer one day. The reason we study space is so that we can protect ourselves from threats from space and maybe so we can go to space one day. We are doing the scientific method for human beings, and nothing capitalism has been better for the human race than even the scientific method. There I said, well, I actually no, because they're the same thing. The scientific method is the freedom to explore, discover the truth, figure things out, and socialist countries can engage in the scientific method, but only free countries reward you for engaging in the scientific method because they allow you to do with your time and money what you want to do. Money is just a representation of your time and energy and your pursuits. If you're not free to do with your money what you want to do, then you're not free to explore the scientific universe in the way you want to do, because time is money and money is time. There we go, I said it. high recommend based on the art. Really, that's just me being like a super capitalist, the little annoying aspect of it. They actually did a really good job of balancing it, I think, and then just getting me down for a big old space adventure with some really psychedelic art. Like, I like this whole scene where they're like, uh, Tesla is having his conflict with the aliens, and everything kind of like melts because it's not like they're attacking him physically; they're attacking him mentally. Really artistically excellent work. High recommend. Number one Marmaduke fan. Like, comment, subscribe. Click the bell to receive notifications. Let's get the artist name so I can say. So Dave Swartz, yeah, I roasted you a bit, but I really enjoyed this. Good job. Joseph Cooper, you are the winner. One of the best artistically done alternate comics I've read. One of the best artistic comics I've read in a while. So excellent work. Totally solid comics. Get it. Well, what else was I going to say? Description for my Subscribestar. I love my Subscribestar supporters. I love my Super Chat donators. I love you guys, and I will catch you later. P.S. Because I'm OCD. Good job, Joseph Cooper, on giving Tesla like these really arched eyebrows. Because I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between Tesla and Einstein because they've both got mustaches and they're in space uniforms. I actually had no problem at any point during the book of telling Tesla and Einstein apart while they were in their space suits. So really good use of subtle facial distinctions to keep those two separate. Maybe give Einstein a bushier mustache next time, but artistic props. That's it. I love you guys. Goodbye.